fall down, clean up the place all around. Welcome to live well. Welcome to live well. Oh, your food natural.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. We're back with another video guys, back with another sowing video. And in this video guys, we're going to be growing our tomatoes guys, our tomatoes. So I've got two varieties of tomatoes here guys. I've got the Brandywine, which is this one, and I got the Mono 2, which is these guys here guys. You know, and as you can see, their leaves look slightly different. If anybody knows anything about tomatoes and know why, please, you know, drop it in the comment guys. I'll be very interested to know that. Yeah. So what we're going to do guys is our usual, you know, procedure guys. We're going to just be trying to make our holes, you know, just deep enough that we're going to be, you know, deep enough that we're going to get it up to the first set of leaves, like the first set of proper leaves, not even the baby leaves this time, just the first set of proper leaves. Because we want to kind of get these guys deep in so that they can also grow roots along the stem. Now, one of the things I also stress guys, you know, there's no need for your plants to be incredibly big before you transplant them. So as I was saying, your plants don't need to be incredibly big guys, you know, ready fruiting in the pot here before you transplant it. This will be the best way for you to transplant your plants, I believe, in my opinion. So this way here, not only will they establish a early root system, you'll give them enough strength, guys, you know, to do their thing as they grow. Now, I will be coming back and putting water in these holes, guys, but I just want to show you roughly the distance I'll be, you know, putting these guys. Now, I like to grow close, guys, because I'm going to be trying the Florida weave system this year. And I believe if they're a little bit closer, they'll be able to, you know, withstand the idea better, so to speak, guys. Because last year all my plants, you know, they were falling over. They weren't very looking too healthy by the ending of it. And this bed here, as you can see, this was where I just had, all I did was when I was cleaning up the place, all the grass, all the weeds that was there, instead of putting it in the compost heap, I just laid it across the floor. You know, it will decompose the same way. And today the time has come. I've just put some fresh compost on top of it. And now I'm just going to be, you know, planting through them, guys. Yeah, these Brandywines, you know, they do look good. They do look healthy. So this is the new area here, as you can see. There's still a lot of grass. It's not fully decomposed yet, guys, but I can tell you, it won't really matter, guys, yeah? I'll just put this one here. And I don't know, maybe I'll go 4 of each, maybe 4 or 5 of each. Now, apparently, guys, tomatoes is part of like the nightshade family, guys. So we're talking like tomatoes, peppers, and potatoes. You know, all of these guys kind of come along in the same bracket, guys. They just produce a different fruit, but they're like, you know, like cousins, if you want to see it that way. Right, I've put 4 of these guys here. Let's try 4 of these guys here now. Yeah, guys, so your tomatoes, sorry, once again, once your tomatoes are up and they start to fruit, guys, they're going to be ready in like 3 months. It's a little bit hard, guys, because it's not really fully composed yet. But, you know, I do believe this will work. It's something new I'm trying. But I've grown similar before and I've had good results. So I'm going to try it with these guys. The plants really don't care how they grow, what they're growing, guys. It doesn't have to be all colorful. It doesn't have to be all nice. All the plants want is some good soil. That's all they need, guys. It doesn't matter if the soil is in a pot. It doesn't matter if it's in a bucket, in a basket, in a sack. It doesn't matter. They just want good soil. Now this is going to start decomposing even quicker. Now it's got a little bit of life in it, and I'm going to be adding a lot of nitrogen to this anyway. When I say a lot, that's additional because a lot of the stuff hasn't fully decomposed yet. So I'm going to need the nitrogen just to help it decompose and also give some to the plants. Now guys, if you find this is unconventional, please, you know, leave it in the comment, you know what I mean? But like I say, if you're here for the first time, just follow and you'll see the results in time to come, guys. So I'm going to put one more of these because I believe that's as much as my bed is going to take this here, guys. So I'll just put this guy at the end here. Let's see him right here. All right, so we've still got these guys left. Now, let me just tell you something about how I sowed these, right? Now, you know, tomato plants are really small. Well, they're small enough. But that's basically just fill in the cells, put a tomato seed on each section, you know, on each of the cells, cover it with a light bit of soil, or sometimes I just make a small little hole about 1/2 inch deep, put them in there, and then, you know, hope for the best. So more times I do get a good successful germination like that, you know, I mean, or at least most of my plants will germinate. As you can see, it's only these two that hasn't come up yet, and we got a little baby one that's late. So try that way. Try sowing your seeds that way. It's better than putting them all in one clump, then thinning them out. Sometimes you damage your roots, sometimes you damage the plant. Right, so my next step is just going to be putting a little bit of water. You know, guys, that's one of the styles we're doing here. You just put some water in each of the bases, guys. And doing this will assure you that your seeds, your seedlings won't get shock, won't get transplant shock, guys. So right, guys, so I'm doing that, just backfilling them. Try to get them up as high as to the first set of leaves as possible, because the tomato plant will actually grow roots all the way up the stems. Those little furry things you see, some people believe that these may be roots or where the roots start from, but no, these are just little furry fuzzy stuff. You get what I'm saying? You're just coming off the stem. When the roots are coming off, you'll see them. There'll be like little bumps. You'll see little bumps being formed on the roots, and that's where your roots are coming. These are more of a defense system for bugs and stuff like that, I believe, you know. So no roots come out from the fluffy guys, from the little furry hairs. That's not roots, right? So as you know, guys, we like to talk about our vitamins. We got our A, we got our vitamin C, we've also got vitamin K from these guys here. So, you know, try some. If you want the best original organic minerals, guys, you get it when you grow the food yourself. Yes, sir. So this is our tomato video, guys. You know, if you're following along, like I always say, thank you, guys. You know, thanks for the support. You know, if you're new here, guys, consider subscribing. I know you might have seen something a little bit different here, but trust me, you know, I believe it works. You'll see it works, and over time, if you follow us, you'll see the results for yourself. You get what I mean? And especially now, it's, you know, people are complaining about fertilizers and stuff like that. I don't understand. If you're a farmer, how are you complaining about fertilizers when there's fertilizer all around you? You know, so I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't really believe fertilizer is a problem if you're a true farmer, especially if you're a true organic farmer. You know, you don't have to stress your head over that. The fertilizer is there. Your animals give you fertilizer. The grass give you fertilizer. You know what I'm saying to you? Even there's natural organic minerals in the soil. Once you get your soil test, you already know what you got. All you got is just work with it, guys. You know, just work with it. Right. So I'm hoping you've enjoyed, you know, our little, you know, tomato video, guys. You know, like I said, follow along, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. You know, hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. And on that note, guys, let's live well. And together we grow, guys. Bless. Yeah, guys, and one more thing. I got to give you the update, guys. I nearly forgot to give you the update. I've already given my outro and everything. Right. So basically, I'm going to give you a quick little update of the stuff we've been growing. Right now, we did have some frost. Some of my stuff did get damaged. I'm not going to say it didn't get damaged. It got damaged. My corn got hit. My pumpkins got hit. And so did my sweet potatoes. But we'll show you a closer look. You know, come and have a look at what's going on. So I do believe this is my corn. As you can see, this is one of the original corns I grew in the video. and all the rest kind of got hit by the frost. I had to replace them, guys. You know, it's part of nature. You got to learn to be patient with nature, guys. Don't be too frustrated, you know, with nature. In our last video, you saw us doing our watermelons, guys, you know, our cantaloupe style watermelons. As you can see, they're standing up and they're doing really well at the moment. And these guys they'll stay small for a while, guys, because they have to form their roots first. So when you first put your plants down and it looks like they're just sitting there not doing much, the first couple of weeks, guys, they'd actually just, you know, venturing their roots out into the soil, trying to find food and water. And once they have enough roots, you'll see that explosion. When you see that happening, know your roots are ready, guys. Now, our carrots, so they kind of came up. You can see, we got a few gaps. So maybe I'll just, you know, come in and fill them in. You can see in the middle where I put the tape, no. So you see, this is why I'm not going to be, hopefully, I'm not going to use tape in the future, because you can see the germination is weak. I don't understand who gave that idea personally. Or maybe it's just me not good at it. Right, guys, so our spring onions. Wow, and I end these guys doing well, considering how small we put these guys in. These are the purple lilies, and I've also got the white lismons as well to put in, but I'm running out of space here, so maybe I'll just have to find somewhere to just kind of fit them in along the way, use them as decoration, as we may say, you know. And guys, finally, our potatoes are here. Look, potatoes are coming up with our little ladybird, giving us a little visit. And yeah, they're coming along fine. So we did quite a few of them. As you can see, all of them seems to be, you know, now starting to stick their head out of the ground. And I say it took roughly about 2 weeks. It took roughly about 2 weeks from when we first put them in for us to see the result we're seeing here now, guys. So like I'm saying to you, look, it's just a simple thing. Put a potato in a pot, put a potato in a sack if you haven't got space. If you got a back garden, just make a little space, put 4 potatoes in that space, and you'll be surprised the amount of potatoes you will get for yourself, guys. So, you know, do us a favor, do yourself a favor. Start growing, guys. Start growing some food. It's a simple thing. It's not hard, right? So let me take you over to our onions. So our onions was actually the very first thing we grew here. And you can see at the moment, they're doing really well. No complaints. I have had complaints in the past with my onions. I have to say no complaints so far this year. The leaves look okay, they're straight. They're not all mangly, they're not all curling up, which I've had before, and that did give me a bit of a scare. So if you come further down, and so now we're moving over to our sweet potatoes. Now these guys, they did take a hit. They took a big hit, guys, you know? What can I say? So this was the original one, you can see. It's just now trying to grow back. Yeah, so the whole top had died, but had come and I had replaced. You know, that's the thing about me, guys. I'm always ready with some extras just in case things happen, things go bad. So you can see these guys are now, they're actually, you know, looking really good. They're looking strong, they're looking healthy. I don't think I'm going to get any more frost, yeah. This is another one that was, you know, killed from the frost, or should I say damaged from the frost, and it started to regrow. So maybe in the future, if that does happen to me, I'll just let's leave them alone. You know, there's no need to panic. But as you know, it's the first time we're doing it here. I mean, sorry, this is like my 3rd time doing it. Every time it's been different time of the year. Try to grow it early enough in the year, thinking I was safe in the middle of May, and we get hit by frost. You know, I'm not one of those people who talk about the weather like rare. If it does not make sense, it don't make sense, and I will say it does not make sense. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Right, so let's move over to our beetroots. Now, these beetroots I didn't do on camera, but nevertheless, these guys are coming along strong, guys. Coming along strong. I do like beetroots. Very healthy, very good for your blood. Also, if you like making wine, it's a very good way of making wines, you know. And now we're going to come over to our cucumbers. If you remember the cucumber video, guys, these guys are doing really well. You know, like I said, they will look small for a little while, and then they're just going to go boof. They're just going to start exploding. But in the meantime, they're settling down, getting their roots ready, getting their things done. And as you can see, guys, the amaranths. Yeah, baby, these amaranths. I'm going to have to just wait for them to get a little bit bigger. It's easier for them to handle when they're that size. And we're going to jump across to our cabbages. Yes, guys, our cabbages, as you can see, doing really well. Doing really well, guys. I've had to, you know, keep them covered for the pigeons. But for the moment, you can see, they're doing really good, guys. Yeah, so we're going to get some nice sauerkraut, some nice coleslaws, or just eating some nice boiled cabbage. You know what I'm saying to you? Grow some food, guys. Grow some. You know, that's the whole point of the channel, is try to hopefully encourage you or inspire you to grow your own food, because time is coming where if you don't know how to grow it, it may get difficult, guys. Bless. One more that got hit by the frost as well. And guys, what did get hit by the frost as well was my pumpkin patch. Oh my days. Devastating. It was devastating. I'm the kind of guy, yeah, when adversity comes like that, yeah, when you know you're feeling really good and for no reason, yeah, you're just made to feel bad. I don't know. Maybe it's the place. I don't know. But you're trying to feel good. You're trying to do the right thing at the right time, and then crazy things happen. So as you can see, look, this is the evidence. This was one of the last ones. You can see they just died, just burnt down to the ground. So I've come back, replaced them. I've always got spares. Don't worry, I've always got spares. Came back and replaced double the amount. You know, that's how I like to do it. Hit once, come back, double the amount. So as you can see, our pumpkins are doing really well, guys. Really well. We will get pumpkins. That's what I'm trying to say. For as long as nature does what it does, you know, in a natural way, we're gonna get pumpkins. Grow some food, guys. Bless.